Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Police Off the Cuff, Real Crime Stories. I'm your host, retired NYPD Sergeant Bill Cannon, a 27-year veteran of the NYPD. I'm back in New York, guys, at least for a week. You see the black background rather than the white background of the Police Off the Cuff, Real Crime Stories show. You know, I've been covering the Laken and Riley case at the University of Georgia. And it stirred up quite a bit of politics across the country. And of course, the political upheaval is because of immigration and illegal immigration for that. And many people are quite upset about this because the life of a young, promising 22-year-old nursing student, honor student, superstar in every way, cross-country runner, jogger, just out for an early morning, early afternoon jog, and her life snuffed out for absolutely no reason by what we would call in the police service as a predator, a predator. Someone really that wasn't doing much in this country, had no business being in this country, because if the laws were followed, he would have not been allowed in this country, and B, would have been deported once he was arrested in New York City. And that is disturbing to most of us, because I think that we expect in a country of laws for our country and our government to protect us. And what they are doing by allowing people to come into this country unvetted is basically saying they don't care about American citizens. They don't care about the safety of the homeland. And that's disturbing. I'm a 9/11 first responder. And, after that, after 9/11 occurred, our country swore that something like that would never happen again. But you know what? It's worse than ever when they allow people to come into this country unvetted. And what does that mean? Well, just do a background check on these people. And no matter where they come from, I'm all for immigration, 100% for immigration. But I'm for, put the word in front of it, legal immigration, I'm for. And I think most Americans are for legal, legal, legal immigration. And when our government just ignores our borders and just allows people to pour through unvetted and pretend that everything's okay, and then a 22-year-old student in Georgia, Augustus College, I think it was, because she used to be a student at UGA, then entered the nursing program at the neighboring college. Just really disturbing that something like this can occur, and we wonder why. We ask those questions. Why? Why is this occurring? Many people, you hear all the pundits, all the news reporters, why are they turning the death of this young woman into politics? Because it would not have happened without bad politics. That's why. All right. A country of laws, if the laws were followed, this would not have happened. You want to say it's political? Then yeah, it's political. We're looking at the politics of it because our elected officials are ignoring the law. The sanctuary city thing is causing upheaval throughout this country, and the news media is largely ignoring it, and I think that's disturbing. They're complicit. They definitely get an assist, in showing that this maybe is not as important of a topic as they say. So, folks, hang on to your seats. You're about to enter true crime from a police perspective. Real crime. Off the cuff. You're entering the Police Off the Cuff zone. There has to be some common sense.
Yes, sir. They have the car stopped in 10th and Ranch Microbizer.
We still don't know who pulled the trigger.
Folks, the illegal, and I'm going to put a picture of him up on the screen. The illegal immigrant arrested for killing Georgia nursing student Laken Riley crossed the border of Texas September 8th, I believe it was in 2022. And he was sent to a processing facility there, was quickly released before being put on a bus to New York City, where he was later busted and set free again. So again, I think he was arrested for putting a young minor on the back of a moped or something and driving without a helmet. I think it was endangering the welfare. But that's not the point. The point is that if someone is here illegally, then he should be, if and when arrested, he should be deported out of the country. However, that does not happen and didn't happen because the NYPD is precluded from notifying ICE when someone is arrested who's illegal. So the politics, when we have the news media talking about politics, what about those politics of precluding law enforcement from notifying ICE, which was the procedure, is the procedure under the law? However, let's tie law enforcement's hands because they can handle whatever we throw at them because they're going to have more duties to deal with all this illegal immigration. And had that been done, had they been allowed to notify ICE, ICE would have responded. They would have taken him into custody and he would have been deported back to Venezuela. Just as easy as that. However, that's not to be because the politics, again, all you news reporters talking about the politics of it, precludes our government from following the law.
About the murder of a nursing student on the University of Georgia campus. Classes are set to resume this morning after a 26-year-old suspect was charged. Our senior national correspondent, Steve Osunsami, is there on the campus in Georgia. Good morning, Steve.
Good morning to you, Robin. The murder of this young woman has students grieving, and now state officials are asking questions about how her accused killer got in the country in the first place.
I think it's really opened our eyes.
Students are returning to classes this morning at the University of Georgia after 22-year-old Laken Riley, a nursing student from a school nearby, was killed while she was jogging on these trails near a lake on the UGA campus.
I think we definitely need to be more aware, like walking together.
But it is the immigration status of the 26-year-old accused of killing her that's causing even more outrage and heartache. Jose Antonio Ibarra appeared in court over the weekend, charged with murder, aggravated battery, and assault and kidnapping. U.S. authorities say that he unlawfully entered the country in 2022.
This court is not authorized under Georgia law to set bond in light of these charges.
In high school, Riley competed at the state championships in cross country and was out running Thursday morning when she never returned.
Investigations suggest that they had no relationship. He did not know her at all. I think this was a crime of opportunity.
Police found her body less than half a mile from an apartment building where they say her alleged killer was living. They say she died from blunt force trauma. A network of trails connects the apartment building to campus. On Friday, security footage and community tips led authorities to the apartment complex where they found and arrested Ibarra and his 29-year-old older brother, who briefly worked for the university and was charged with possessing a fake green card unrelated to the murder. The two have not yet entered pleas.
The evidence suggests that this was a solo act.
Authorities say the brothers are from Venezuela and that both have been arrested more than once by Georgia, New York State, and federal authorities, but were paroled or released before customs enforcement agents could step in. Over the weekend, students remembered Laken Riley. Overnight, her first-year roommate wrote that she had a heart that left an impact on every single person she met. And on Instagram, her sister wrote that this isn't fair, and I will never understand it.
The murder suspect's first arrest was in 2022. He was detained after illegally crossing the border near El Paso. After that, he had a number of other arrests in at least 2 other states. Georgia's governor is now asking Washington how he was able to remain in the country despite those arrests. George.
Okay, Steve, thanks very much.
There are no answers to this. Our government, when they're asked how did this happen, they're like, they don't know. They don't give an answer. They don't care, and it's really disgusting that our elected officials feel that they can just not answer these questions. Are they difficult? Okay, how did he get into the country? That's one thing. He was denied access, and then he was put on a bus, and they delivered him somewhere, and he stayed in the country. And then in the country, he's been arrested. Why wasn't he deported? There's no answers to that because they don't have answers because they don't care. They don't care. If this, and again, I want to repeat, I am 100% pro-immigration, but you have to throw the word legal in front of that, in front of immigration. I'm for legal immigration. And when we think of someone going about their life, like this young lady, Laken Riley, 22 years old, as we said, a superstar in every way, great student, great person, would have gave back so much to this world. And now that her life has been snuffed out by what you can only say is a predator, Jose Antonio Ibarra. What has he accomplished in his life? And I'm going to play an interview of an FBI agent on Chris Cuomo's show. And he really, he's the first talking head I've seen that has really, really confronted this immigration situation. And most news reporters, they say, why are we taking the death of this woman and turning it into politics? Because we're here because of politics, of bad politics. All right. So I'm going to say it. The reason we're here is because of bad politics. And if you woke news reporters can't handle that, then maybe you don't understand your audience. Here's Chris Cuomo, and he's going to talk. And I think he's set a little bit straight by this FBI agent also.
Special Agent Stuart Kaplan, criminal defense attorney. Thank you for being on the show again. So, how big a deal is this one as an indication of what is wrong with border policy?
First, Chris, it's unconscionable. It's unforgivable. Venezuela has the highest crime rate on this planet, hands down. There should be no entry for any individual who is coming from Venezuela until that individual is properly vetted. There is no retort. There is no rebuttal.
Amen. Amen. Yes, there should be no immigration until that person is properly vetted. What is so hard to understand about that?
There is no logic that anybody can offer. Yes, Venezuela is a country that has huge problems, but it is also the most dangerous place on this planet. And we, as Americans, should come first. Our hospitals, our schools, our law enforcement community is already at heightened awareness for danger. Our quality of life is in the toilet, it's in the gutter, it's in the sewer. And you allow dangerous people to come into this country, they are going to prey on individuals such as this defenseless girl, Chris, who was out for just a jog, just on a beautiful day in a park, minding her own business, and falls prey to an animal. This should never, ever happen.
Let's talk about why it did.
Yeah, he wants to talk about the politics of it. Let's bring the politics of it in, Chris.
The Biden administration made the opposite determination that you just did about Venezuela. They looked at the situation and said that it is so bad there that there are many who need to escape it, and they offered temporary protected status.
Do you think our politicians really give a damn about life in Venezuela? This is all about money. It has something to do with Venezuela's oil. All right, they don't care about the people there. I mean, this is really insulting that Chris Cuomo is trying to sell that point of view.
That is some 400,000 plus came in, which is why everybody is hearing stories about migrants from Venezuela collecting all over the country in desperate need. you have the first let go, which is you got him coming across the border illegally, and they did catch and release. Then you have the second one, which is a municipality, in this case, New York, catching him for a different crime, and then letting him go and not communicating with the feds about it. Which one of these two bothers you more?
It bothers me first that we are a country that operates under the rule of law. I think all Americans are pro-immigration when you are properly vetted and you are going to contribute and add to our society. But there is a significant element that wants to come into this country because we are weak right now, and they are taking advantage of this woke, liberal, progressive mentality. And Chris, I'm going to call it for what it is. Most of these young kids have never left the city that they live or grow up in. They should all leave this country and understand how privileged, how lucky, and what should happen is when you come back to the United States, you will understand we are a country that takes ourselves for granted. We don't realize how fortunate we are to live in the United States. But
You know, let's just look at this whole premise. Now, they're saying that people they want a sanctuary because they're like a political asylum almost, that their country is so dangerous, or they're being politically picked upon, and that's why they're requesting asylum in the United States. Is that the case of 400,000 people came from Venezuela? Or is it just that their government, is corrupt and their quality of life is corrupt? But isn't it our duty and the law enforcement wants to do their job at the border patrol? They're begging to do their job. ICE, they wanted to disband ICE. That is one of the levels of the checks and balance system that protects the people of the United States. ICE, yes, Immigration and Customs Enforcement. And they actually wanted to get rid of this. And, the next reporter that says this is about politics, they really need to go stand at the border. They really need to go into New York City. They really need to go into San Diego. They need to firsthand check out the invasion that's going on to this country. And lastly, they need, not even lastly, they need to check out that this young girl was murdered. And, if you want to call that politics, yeah, bad politics. Politics of allowing someone in this country that had no business getting in here. What was this guy's? Do we know his background? No, the answer is no, we don't. We don't know it. And that is the disgusting and the scary thing about this, is that not only don't we know his background, try to vet someone through Venezuela. You think you're going to get a paper trail? If you tried to get his criminal history from Venezuela, you think that they would send it? Do you think they would comply with that request? No, because they want to get rid of all their bad guys. Yes, send them to the United States. This makes me recall the Marielitos boat lift from Cuba. I believe it was under Jimmy Carter, so that would have been back in the 80s, where Cuba emptied their prisons and sent them to Miami. And we, being the benevolent, stupid country we were at that point, took all these criminals in from Cuba. You think Venezuela is doing anything different? You think they're sending us their Nobel Peace Prize winners? Or do you think they're emptying their prisons and getting rid of their bad guys? I hate to be this negative, this cynical, but this young lady lost her life over bad policy. And, the pundits, the news reporters out there, oh, let's not make this. This is about politics. It is. It's about politics. And when you say, oh, this is about, it's getting so political, think of this young lady, Laken Riley, and you want to talk about politics? Yeah, let's talk about politics. That's what this is about. Let's finish up with Chris Cuomo.
We have opened it up, and it is a cesspool right now to allow these people to come in and have fair game and prey upon all of us. They're living amongst all of us. I'm not telling you not to let in people that want to contribute. My grandparents, my great-grandparents came in just like yours, came in through the lawful process. They immigrated through Ellis Island, but they were vetted, and they were here because they wanted to contribute and add.
That's why their calls to reestablish an Ellis Island type facility,
Chris,
and to go huge with the infrastructure, go huge with the capacity. I'm just a little different from you, Stu.
Let me give you the analogous. The Biden administration is like, we're going to parole violent felons without a parole board. We're just going to parole them. No one's going to review it. No one's going to care. Just let them out. I mean, does that make sense?
Hopefully they'll
It's
come back.
illogical. Exactly.
And hopefully they'll come back for their date, which, is a very, very dicey.
Chris Cuomo's ready to have a meltdown, because he's from the liberal bent, and he's dying that this FBI agent is giving the other side, and he's almost can't handle it. But this guy's good.
Move. When I look at this situation, two things. I'm a little different from you on the they're going to contribute in a great way when they get here, because I wouldn't be here right now in that case. My grandparents had no skills. They had nothing to offer here except this.
They had ambition,
you know what
Chris.
I mean?
They had ambition, but they had ambition.
Right,
Chris.
they had ambition.
They had ambition, and they didn't look for a handout. They looked for an opportunity. No. They wanted an equal opportunity. The people coming in now, they're not ambitious. They're looking for a handout. We are a country of handouts now. That's the difference.
Yeah, I get it. Hey, thank you.
So, wow. I mean, I'm surprised Chris Cuomo survived that. He was so wanted to give the left-wing bent on what immigration is, and but I think that FBI agent really said it very well. Said it very, very well, and this is the problem we're facing right now. And I always want to say when we do these shows, let's think about what this was really about. What this was about was a young lady losing her life, Laken Riley, who, unfortunately will never see the age of 23, 22 years old, nursing student, the best that our country has to offer. And yet, this is more important. This thug that they allow in illegally from Venezuela. Let's let him in, because we're so woke, and let's disregard the safety rights of a student that's trying to better herself in this world. And that's sad. That's sad that we've come to this, but that's where we're at right now. And I don't see things changing anytime soon. I really don't. I see it. Is the anger enough to make changes? I don't know. I don't know if it is yet. It's.
Students returned to class today following the death of 22-year-old Laken Riley.
That's right. So it was a somber day for those who knew Laken and those who heard of her death.
Brittany Kleinpeter joins us live from the University of Georgia. And Brittany, a vigil for Riley just wrapped up at the Tate Student Center. And today's vigil honors not only her, but also a UGA student, Wyatt Banks, who lost his life to suicide last week.
That's right. We're just a few feet away from where they held that vigil, but there were hundreds of students and staff members all here to honor both of those students. Alpha Chi Omega helped organize the event, and that was Riley's sorority. They did give her tributes and prayers. There was music, but the spot where she was last seen near Lake Herrick, we did visit that today. That was a much different sight, a lot quieter. But that vigil did wrap up about an hour ago. Again, hundreds of students and faculty members met here in the center of campus, all to remember both Riley and Wyatt Banks, that UGA student who also recently died. There was music and prayers, but tonight, Riley's sorority sisters are sharing other ways the community can honor her memory.
Tell your friends that you love them and never miss an opportunity for a sweet treat, one of Laken's favorite pastimes, and scream the lyrics to your favorite song as loud as you can. Be kind. Catch up with your friends and strive to be the type of person that Laken was, where sister shared, even if you hadn't seen her in a while, it was like no time had passed at all.
Now, the area where Laken Riley's body was found is a popular running area for students in Athens. That's the Lake Herrick area I mentioned earlier. Today, we talked with several runners, some of who say they're nervous to run, others who are running in groups, with safety really being top of mind. The Road Runners Club of America recommends runners change their routes, run in pairs or groups, carry their cell phones, and be smart about using headphones. We also talked with one student today that shared with me they're wanting to finish Laken's route. They want to finish that run for her. And there's a group of freshmen that are discussing how they can finish her run. Nothing official has been organized just yet. But as you can see, she is still very top of mind for so many here. Guys?
So sad, guys. And, I think as, to honor Laken Riley, perhaps, we should write to call our elected officials and voice our opinions on this and indicate that we want change. We are a capitalistic society, and indicate that we're not happy with this, and that something should occur. That the homeland, the people in the homeland, citizens of this country should be protected. And the way you protect us is to vet so that people like this can't just cross our border and come into this country, commit crimes, and remain unscathed. I'd like to know, what was he doing day to day? What was his life all about? As that FBI agent say, was he the beneficiary of a handout? Was that how he was living day to day? And very sad. Folks, this is police off the cuff, real crime stories. If you like real crime, true crime from a police perspective, then you're in the right place. And if you're not subscribed to us, go on our YouTube, hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, ring that bell, and hit that like, give it, share us with your friends and your family. And if you want to contribute to us, we have a Patreon with 3 different levels, and you can contribute to us on that. And we also have a YouTube channel membership with counting 5 different levels. And we appreciate all our fans, all our subscribers, all our friends that support us. I don't really, this is about the 3rd show I've done on this case, and it really is infuriating, because it's not going to be the last one, And when you hear news reporters start doing statistics of like, illegal immigrants, or they call them migrants, commit crime at a much lower level than the general population, well, that's again playing statistical games, because there's way more citizens than there are illegal immigrants. So stop playing that. There's politics too with statistics. All right. The truth is that if you're the victim of a crime, then crime is up 100% as per you, right? Laken Riley, the victim of a murder's up 100% for her family. They lost her. She lost her life unnecessarily, because if the laws were followed, Laken Riley would be attending nursing classes. Laken Riley would be getting up every morning and going on a jog, looking forward to her life, what she had to offer and the great things she had to offer, the great person she is and was going to contribute to this society. And when news reporters and all the talking heads talk about, let's not make this about politics, this is about politics. So shut up, news reporter, because you're just putting out the woke mentality, right? I think people have had it with wokeness. I think we've really had it. I think we want to go back to being a country of laws. Yeah, look at this. Route trackers by Yera. You're so right. For crying out loud, politicians were asking U.S. citizens to open their homes to these illegals. That is out. They are out of their mind. You know what you should say? Why don't you open up your home, Mr. Politician? If you think that's such a great idea. I almost forgot about that. Lisa Kay, good to see you. Carol Grayston, always great to see you in the chat. I'm calling out people in the chat. Debbie, I would never go to a park alone, never have. Soretti, good morning, Bill and chat. Guys, so good to see everyone. I'm back in New York, at least for a week, then I'm going to return to Florida. If you didn't notice the the black police off the cuff banner behind me. That's indicative that I'm in New York. My son is getting married Saturday, and I'm so looking forward to that. I have two sons. It's my first son. The younger guy is actually getting married first. His name is Jake, and we wish Jake. Well, I'll get emotional, but we wish him the best in his marriage and life, and hopefully he lives happily ever after. I know that's a cliche, but I just wanted to come on quickly today and cover this, because sometimes I do get semi-infuriated when you hear a lot of these politicians. Nicolo Diaz, thank you. A lot of these politicians talk about, oh, this is just about politics. Yeah, well, yeah. And your title is politician. So stop talking like people say, Michelle Lipscomb, how are you? Good to see you. I see a lot of new names in here. I hope you guys are subscribed, Good morning, Bill and chat. Congrats to Jake, just the girl one. Great to see all you guys. I'm going to be signing off. I just wanted to do this short little clip. And I want to thank everyone for coming by today. Jersey Girl 50. I worked in a university town. Even after several murders of young women, you still see them out running alone. Yeah, I think that's probably a good idea not to run alone. Carmelita, congratulations to your son, Bill. Glad you're back in New York. Love the early shows. Carmelita, thank you. It's so good to see you, Carmelita. I haven't seen you a little bit. I know that you work. You're always working. You're tirelessly working, going after those dead presidents on those green pieces of paper, although no one carries cash anymore, right? We're all putting it on the card. Tina Powers, congratulations. You have a new daughter-in-law. Exciting. Yes, we're adding a new, our only daughter, a daughter-in-law that we never had before, but we had two sons. Anyway, guys, I want to thank everyone for coming by today. And I'll see you soon. I'm going to be getting back on the air, hopefully another couple of shows, but starting Friday, it'll be a whirlwind of, wedding activities. But so anyway, I'm Bill Cannon from Police Off the Cuff Real Crime Stories. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I know it's a little bit early for most, but have a great day, everyone, and we'll see you soon.
One episode just ain't enough.